Hey everybody, Logan here. Well, you might have seen in my last few videos that, well, I'm sitting in a new chair. This is the Ghost Keyboard Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover Leonardo chair. Now, I've had it for a number of days now, and, well, at first I wasn't going to, but I decided, hey, I think I should be doing a full review on this chair because, well, people are going to ask about it, they're going to see it in the videos, and they're going to say, hey, isn't that? Yes, it is. Is it worth the money? Well. That's what this video is about. It's not sponsored. They didn't send it to me. I bought it myself. You guys know how big of a Ninja Turtles fan I am. Yes, it's Leonardo. Raphael is my favorite. Of course, Red Bandana Gaming. Come on. But yes, I know I'm wearing a Donatello shirt and sitting in a Leonardo chair with a Raphael display behind me because I'm just a big Ninja Turtles fan. So that's why I bought this chair, and there was no sight or sign of a Raphael one coming out. Alright, with all that out of the way, let me show you a little bit more of the chair, tell you what I think, tell you if I think this chair is worth it. That's the gist of the chair. If you're just looking straight on, it's really nice looking. It has a magnetic headpiece. I could see them selling this separate as different turtles, but it's memory foam in here, and it has a magnet right here. There you go. And it just attaches. I wish it was a little higher. Now, one thing I will say right before we get into anything else, I'm tall. And this chair feels like it was meant for heavier, shorter people, if that makes any sense, because it's big. It's considered an extra large chair, and they only make it in one size, so it's a little wide. But it doesn't go down any lower. Like, the hydraulic doesn't go down lower, and for someone as tall as I am, I feel like I'm sitting up a little high. So that is an issue, but it's not bad because it's really comfortable. It's got this, I guess you call it a leatherette. I don't think it's real leather. It doesn't feel like it. But, hey, this side might be, but this definitely doesn't feel like it. Feels more like, you know, when you get a new car these days and they say it's imitation leather, or like I said, leatherette. That's what it feels like. But it's comfortable. It's got a good bit of cushion. Now, the armrests. It has a little thing right here, and it can go up and down, so that's fine. But I wish it was a bit more comfortable. They're not really comfortable. They can move, depending on, there's a little button here, and then you can move it. If not, see, this is going to get me to it. There are buttons and all kinds of things, and I'm like, all right, what does it do? Both of them have it. You know what? The instructions were probably the worst instructions I have ever come across, and that was my big problem. The instructions itself looked like they were just printed on a inkjet out of someone's, you know, office or home office. It came with 4 different types of screws, and they were all labeled as what's an M8 in the instructions. And I was like, wait a minute, it doesn't tell you where to put them. And apparently 4 were already in the chair. 4 came in the plastic packaging, and I have the packaging right here. So it had 4 small ones there, and that's how they came. Those 2 small ones, it came with 2 other small ones and 2 other ones that were very similar, but a little thinner. You'd have to take a look. It was just a couple millimeters shorter. And then 4 of those, and the other 4 inside, along with an Allen wrench that had a screwdriver on the end. And the instruction manual didn't tell you much. So that was a bit of a pain. But once I got it together, it was pretty comfortable until I realized, well, the instructions printed the bottom here. If you see this piece, to be put on, it printed it backwards, like if this part was pointed to the front of the chair. And I was wondering why I couldn't lean back and I could only lean forward. So I was like, something's wrong here. So I had to disassemble this whole piece and put it back together because the instructions had this end pointing this way. And when I was putting it together, I was like, that looks really weird. And I kept looking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth at the instructions. I was like, something ain't right. I've put together a number of these chairs, not from this brand, but I've used ones from Razer is the most recent one. I actually bought one for my wife for her office because she really liked it and was extremely comfortable. My last one was Boston, and I think the other one was like X Racing or something. The first two came from Amazon, and then the last two did not. Now it has these adjustable, I guess you could say flappy paddles here. One adjusts the hydraulic, the other one, well, it just locks the chair into place so you can't tilt back. Now, if we turn it around, it looks really cool. So this is one thing I will say has a beautiful look to it. It has Leonardo's two katanas, and it's shaped like the shell. So that is really cool. It has Ninja Turtles branding all over it quite a bit, and their logo. Now, this is my first review of a chair. I've never reviewed a chair before, so I didn't know how I was going to do it and get it all into a widescreen film with the chair being like that. And since I use it in my office, I was like, okay, so ignore the action figures and the magic cards and stuff like that because you can't see that on screen. So yeah, this is my office. And yeah, so it was a little odd trying to film this, but it's a nice chair. Overall, it's a nice chair. It's extremely heavy compared to other chairs that I've put together. The Razer one was significantly lighter. I would say it's about twice the weight. That's completely fine because it's a very comfortable chair. So it does have lumbar support as well. If you look over here, it's got an adjustable lumbar, but otherwise it's a solid chair. Now, what people are going to ask, how much was this? $580. It was $50 off. It had a promotion when I bought it. I guess I was one of the first people because I bought it within like 2 to 3 days after it was announced. And I posted it on Instagram, and a lot of people were like, wow, did they send it to you? I was like, nope. I had to buy this bad boy. And if you're asking, is it worth $580? With the pain in the butt that it was to put together, I would say if they streamline the construction process, made the instructions a bit clearer, I would say yes. There's one thing I meant to mention that I totally forgot. Down here on the side, you have to put this piece together. And here you have to screw in 2 sets of screws here, and then this attaches here, but it's just a plastic cover. This plastic cover is very cheaply made. Here, it goes and attaches to the back of the chair. Now, you would think they would add some kind of alignment hole for the screws to go in. No, there's just 2 little cuts, like someone took a knife and poked a hole, or sliced a little hole into the leather here. So there was just a little slice. That's it. The screws didn't line up. I had to take the screwdriver that came with it, make a little hole, tried to find it, and then line them up. And they still didn't line up with the pre-cut hole they had before, so I had to move things around. It was a pain in the butt on both sides. A lot of companies that all the other companies have had pre-cut holes that line up exactly where the screws are supposed to go. Not all of them had a ring or something to show you exactly where to go, but a lot of them were like, hey, this is where it is. You can clearly see it screwed it. That one just had 2 little slices. That was the biggest issue when it came to putting it together. It became a little frustrating. But otherwise, once I got it together, it's been really comfortable. But again, if you're taller, you might have an issue with this, depending on how tall or how short your desk is. I wanted the hydraulic to go down lower, because again, I'm tall, so my knees were hitting the top of my desk. And another thing is the wheels, they come out a little further than the back. You don't really notice it until you're trying to get up closer under the desk, and with the way my desk is situated, it's really hard. But that's a personal thing where you may not have the same issue because you may not have the same type of desk that I have. But the chair, if I had to grade it, I'd give it a 7 out of a 10. Just because it's a really nice build. It's very comfortable. There's a few issues with the build quality, like I said. The armrests and the pieces right here and the instructions were probably my biggest complaints, but otherwise everything else is great. I give it a 7 out of 10. Is it worth the money? Depends on how big of a Turtles fan you are. I think this is more along the lines of a $350, maybe $400 at most. $580 was quite a bit. I still think $530 was still a bit expensive for this chair now that I have it in. If you want it, I would say see if there's a sale when you go to buy it, but otherwise, yeah, I can't say $500 or almost $600 after tax. I can't recommend it, but I think it's a really good chair. Again, wait till you see it go down in price. I think the price is what's really, yeah, it is holding me back from recommending it. The Razer chair that we have in the house, Razer's been doing this for quite some time. You know, it may not have the licensing. Hey, maybe that's where all the price comes in on this chair, is the licensing. The Razer chair was about $200 less. I think it was around $380 when I got it. I think it was about $380. And that was, you know, a great deal. And it's extremely comfortable. And it's more adjustable than this. So, yeah, that's what I can say there. So, thank you guys for watching. Tell me if you like this chair. And I don't see myself reviewing any other chairs because where am I going to put them? But hopefully you stuck around with me for my first gaming chair review. But of course it would be Ninja Turtles. And maybe if I ever do this in the future, I can figure out how to do it with a better camera setup. Thank you guys so much. God bless you all. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. Like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.